Okay, so we're gonna start to do assembly now. Couple things I want to show for the assembly. You have to make sure that you have couple tools. You're gonna need the tools like small pliers, or this is its number 4, I think. The same thing that you use for on your RC cars. And we're gonna get to this in a minute, but usually spread everything on the table. Make sure that you have everything. This is the tail wheel, and the tail will also have the shocks, those king shocks. It's really cool, and it's have couple spring for the navigation. And then we have the fuselage over here, but before we get into those, there's a couple things that you need to do, and I'm showing you guys how to do the assembly right now, not by the book. Okay, so if you like to go but whatever written in the book, you're not going to see it right now. I will show you some stuff that I see more important. So I expose everything where it is, just so I can be ready. Let's put this aside. Now, before you start, you get in those cowl flap. They need to get glued over here. The problem is, if you look at the camera, you can see that it's curved. It's curved really bad. And this is not like because we should film in with a GoPro and the GoPro is warped. This is straight. This is how this thing is. So what will happen is, when you're gonna take your wings and you're gonna try to do assembly right now, and you try to push it in with some glue, what will happen as soon as you leave it, it will pop out. And if you not push it back into place and hold it, it will actually gonna glue crooked, and then the top here, it's already sliding, so it needs to be actually more inside. Okay, so pay attention. Now, how do you do that? First of all, you're gonna need to get foam safe CA and foam safe quicker kicker. What you do, you press it, it spray, and it will cure your glue right away. Now, it have to be foam CA, nothing else. If it's not a foam CA, it will melt the airplane and you lose all your money. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, one of the things that I don't really like, but there's no way to kind of fix it, this is painted. So when you have paint on top of the parts, what hold the parts will be actually the paint. So what I usually gonna like to do is like poke a couple small holes in it, and what those holes gonna do, this is a trick that you should do in all your airplane, or you can just scrape it a little bit. Now I made more holes that the glue actually gonna seep into the foam. So what I did, I took the X-Acto blade and just make hole. You can do that with a pin. You can do it in different way. You're not causing any damage, because what will happen is it's more surface for the glue to get into. Oops. Now, those super glue, whenever you open them, make sure that they actually running pretty good. And I'm gonna do here a drop just to show you. See, it's running really good. And then when you take the kicker, you put on it, it's gonna expand and it will dry right away. So this is what you want to see. Always test it before, because if it's not gonna dry, it means that your glue is expired. And a lot of people don't know that those glues expired pretty quick. They usually have date on them, and if you don't go by the date, it's garbage really quick. I'm gonna start by putting in the center over here and then on those holes, and go one by one. Now, you don't put the kicker until you're ready. And this is not like a regular super glue that will glue your fingers, so don't really stress too much about it. Now, I have glue inside, and I think I have good amount inside, but before, you're not using the kicker yet. Before that, you're gonna grab it, push it in all the spots, okay, and then take it back out right away. And what you're gonna do now, you're gonna be able to see if you have too much or anything like that. If you have small run, I got a small run, I'm just gonna wipe them off. Okay, and then nothing happened. Now it's perfect. I see here that I have enough glue where I want it. And then next step, I'm gonna put them in one by one where they're supposed to be. Make sure that it's standing where it's supposed to be. And I'm gonna put a little bit of a kicker on it. And then it will hold in a place, and then I'm gonna go to the next one, and I'm gonna put a little bit pressure on it and push it to where it's supposed to be. Put a kick, press it a little bit, and go to the next one. A little bit kicker, and what the kicker does, it's actually gonna harden the side and start going inside and drying it. And then we're gonna go to the next one. And go to the last one and hold it in for a second. Then that popped out. It means that it's need more time. I did it way too quick, so let's push it all in. This is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, and this is good. And then we need to just air it out. I can see why it came out, because this is still have a lot of kicker on it, and the kicker is still drying. Then I will flip it to the other side and just wipe the extra kicker that I have, and then I can make sure everything is glue. Everything is pretty nice and smooth over there. Okay, so this was the first wing. I will wait a second before I continue to the next one, just to see that nothing is actually popping out, because again, those glues, even with the kicker, they like to come out. Because it's foam, the reaction time for this is not like a super glue that you run on balsa. It's take a little bit longer, so you have to actually know those tricks. Let's see, I'm kind of happy with this one. I'm happy with that one. This one is good, this one is good. Okay, let's do another one, just so you see both sides getting done, and then we can inspect both of them, and then I can show you something. Pay attention to those wood pieces. I'm gonna explain in a second what they are. It's very important to know what to do with them. Now what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take a screwdriver and put it underneath it, so there's no pressure on this thing to try to pop back out, okay? And then let's time I check. Pretty good. Next one. Okay, so again, we look in here, we have to go with the knife. Couple small slots. Okay, whoops. Then I forgot earlier to check that those are glued good from the factory, because if those not glued good, they will actually fly off. Okay, and then I gotta lift this thing. It's interesting that the factory did not do that. That the factory built everything else, glued for you your ailerons and flaps, but they did not do the cow flap. It have no sense, but I guess they want us to do something. And if you look, pay attention, I'm trying to put the glue on the top and let it actually roll down. I'm not fill it up top and bottom. And like this, I know that it's not getting too much, and when it is, we're just gonna wipe it. You can wipe the CA with a paper towel, and then before you put the kicker, nothing happened. It's not doing anything. And again, the same trick as before. It's like watching paint dry, but with a much cooler result. Much cooler result. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're gonna pull it out. See that it's all kind of nice and wet. Wipe here a little bit excess if there is. This time there was nothing there. Make sure this is closed. And then I'm gonna show you guys another trick. While you're doing this, I leave this on something, but if you're gonna put this on a elevated elevated box or something, it will be easier for you because this is going down and it's going to hit the table, and this will be easier. And again, it's the first time that I put in this airplane together, so it's kind of like you learn as you go. And now I know on this one that you have to do that. Okay, let's start from here with the kicker. Set it up where I want it, shake my kicker and kick it. This is 1. Two. 3. And then whenever you glue one, go to the one near it and kind of push it back in, because each time you're going to put some pressure, it's going to try to come out a little bit. This is pretty good. This is good. And last one. Now you have to do those this way because the piece itself was warped from the factory. It was not straight, it was kind of like arched like a banana. So this is the remedy to do those. It's take a couple more seconds, it's not a big deal. This airplane is going to be so much fun. It's actually worth every second to do it the right way. Then we're gonna wipe excess, and let's see here. Everything is glued correctly. I want to show to the camera real quick how it's looked from the inside now when it's done right. So if you look inside over here, you can see that the hinges are actually the right way all over. And this is how you need it to be. And now we're going to leave this to rest for a second. The glue is still drying. The kicker is make it accelerated, but it's not make it instant dry in the inside, because what happened is we glue around it, but the part that's inside this way got glue on the edges. So the kicker right now is sipping in and drying it, and then it's going to get into the holes that I just made. Okay, let's take this thing away. You never want the super glue stay on the same table you're working with, because accident always happen. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about this part. This part is your landing gear. This is one of the most important parts on your airplane. Now when you look at those landing gears, I want you to understand they make this is very heavy part because of those shocks. This is supposedly carbon fiber, although it's not look like a carbon fiber at all to me. It's just look like kind of polycarbonate. It's look like plastic, but they claim that this is carbon fiber, so let's assume that I believe them. This need to go on the airplane. Because this part is very heavy, and you can see here that it's kind of moving a lot. If you check here, you will see that those screws here, they kind of loose a little bit, so please pay attention and close those. Those screws going through another part that going inside there, and you see these screws for it. So make sure that you close all those before you continue. Now, to do the rest of the work on the airplane, you really need to have a gauge to put, a jig, I'm sorry, to have the airplane on, because you're going to need to flip the airplane in order to put those in. So let's do this. I'm going to go in real quick. I just got in and I forgot to bring it with me. I'm going to go in, and this is going to be the next video. Jump to the next video to see how to assemble this and how to assemble the rest. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. And again, this is Eric, RC Monster Garage, MotoStyles shop, showing you some cool tricks, putting the coolest airplane ever in a box, outside, on the table, and then we're going to go fly it. Let's go.